Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Data Sealer. I hope you guys are doing really great. So today I'm starting a course on MongoDB, and in this course I'm going to cover basic to advanced level topics on MongoDB. So no matter even if you're a beginner or even if you're someone who just have an overview of what MongoDB is or have just little worked with MongoDB, I'm pretty much sure that by the end of this course you will have strong foundation of MongoDB, how MongoDB works internally, and what are the real case scenarios where you can use MongoDB. So without waiting, let's get started. So before proceeding with what MongoDB is, it would be helpful if you guys know like what a database exactly is. So a database is a digital storage system where data is kept in structured way so computers can read quickly, write quickly, and search and modify that data. Why is that? This is because like in a database engine we can create queries. We can just simply create simple queries which can you know perform we can which can update thousands and millions of data in just one go. So this is the real case scenario where a database comes into an action. And if just to give you a real world analogy, I have added this example. Like think of your database as a Google Contacts app, and each contact, think of it as a record that you are storing in that particular database. And in that record, I'm pretty much sure that you will be saving my name as well, you will be saving the phone number as well, and you will be saving the email as well. So those fields are called the fields in database. And in particularly SQL database, those are called the columns, and each record is called as the row, just to give you an overview. And all these records, all these rows together make up a database. So this is the simplest definition of a database. A database is an engine, or it's a storage system which is used to store data in structured and organized way so that data can be fetched easily, it can be written quickly, and it can be modified and updated very easily. And there are much more features in databases which you guys will know while we go through this course. Now comes the real deal. What exactly is MongoDB? So, a MongoDB is also a type of database which is used to store data, and the way it differs from any other relational database management system is that it stores the data in form of documents. It stores the data in form of JSON documents. If you guys are not sure what exactly is a JSON document, I would suggest you to pause this video and Google what is a JSON document and what is JSON, what is BSON. Just search these two things and then continue on this video. So a MongoDB is a database which stores data in form of documents, and instead of rows and columns. If you guys are not aware of rows and columns, I would like to inform that in SQL databases, our data is stored inside the tables, and inside those tables it is stored in form of rows and columns. Think of it exactly like a Google spreadsheet or any MS Excel spreadsheet where the data is stored in form of rows and columns, and whatever that you see in your display, it's a table. Like the combination of rows and columns is called the table itself. So in SQL, data is stored in form of rows and column, whereas in MongoDB it is stored in form of documents. And if you see in MongoDB database, we have collections. So what are collections? So collections is something which is used to store your documents inside it. Think of collection like a bucket where you are keeping your documents, and think of MongoDB database as your almirah where you can keep multiple collections, and inside those collection you will have multiple documents. For example, you can create a collection named user, then you can have another collection named employees, and in those user collection you will have multiple documents. Those documents will be in the key value pair. Similarly in JSON document, if you guys have already gone through what is a JSON document, now you guys will get what I'm trying to say. So if you guys see like how data is stored in MongoDB. So data is stored in MongoDB in form of JSONB and displayed in JSON. So if you see that this is an example of a document. So this is something which is stored inside a collection. So if you see, this is the key user ID and 101 is value. Name is the key and Arshdeep is the value. Skills is the key and this array which is containing PostgreSQL, MongoDB, Kubernetes is the value. And this is the case in the MongoDB, whereas in SQL we have a table, we have EID, e-name, employee salary, employee age, employee gender, and employee department. These are the columns, and then we are inserting the data in form of rows. Whereas in MongoDB we store data in form of documents. So that's a point where MongoDB differs from other SQL databases. And what are the key characteristics of our MongoDB database? It's document based, as I have already told you, that it stores the data in BSON and it displays in JSON. So why it stores the data in form of BSON? It stores data in binary JavaScript object notation because storing it in a compressed forms makes it easier to fetch that data. It makes it easier to perform various operations on that data, and also it takes less space as well. But it is displayed to you in form of JSON. And the next thing is it's schema flexible. So in SQL, if you guys know, if you have defined a number of columns for a specific table, whenever you insert any record, you have to put you have to insert value for those specific columns. You can't just keep those columns empty, and you can't just add on your own columns as well. But that is not in the case with MongoDB. In MongoDB, if you have any collection where you have inserted any document, and no matter how many key value pair it have, you can insert another document as well which is containing a different type of key value pairs. So it is very schema flexible. And the next thing is higher performance. Just because it is schema flexible, it also avoids joins as well, because we already have the data that we want to access in a single collection. We have all our data aggregated in one single collection, which is why we have higher performance. Because as you guys know that join operations are very not very CPU friendly, because they take up your memory, they take up your CPU, which is why we can experience higher performance in MongoDB, because we do not have to run any join operations on it. And the next thing is horizontally scalable. This topic is a little bit of an I would say intermediate level topic of MongoDB, because it is the concept of sharding. It allows you to store your MongoDB data in more than one machine, and also you can use the compute of more than one machines to access that data. And next, we have the concept of built-in replication. MongoDB provides the concept of built-in replication using replica sets. It is also an advanced level topic of MongoDB, which we will cover later on in this video. But just to give you an overview, that we have replica set. In replication, it allows you to replicate your data from one machine, or we can say from one MongoDB database to another MongoDB database. And it can just for example, if I'm making any changes on my database, you will be also able to see those changes in your database, because we have already set up a replication using replica sets in MongoDB. So these are the key characteristics of MongoDB. And now coming to how data is stored in MongoDB, as I have already told you that in RDBMS we have databases, and then we have tables, and then we have rows and columns. Inside those tables we have columns, and rows are the records that we insert into any table. And in MongoDB we have databases as well, but instead of tables we have collections, which are just similar to tables. It's just that they are schema flexible. And instead of rows we have documents, and instead of columns we have fields, which we can also call as keys in MongoDB. So I hope that I was able to give you an overview of what exactly is MongoDB and how it differs from other relational databases and what are its key characteristics. And if you guys have any queries, and if you guys have any questions, do let me know in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer those queries.